How's it going, guys? This is Trey Bell, and this is Arcane Frequencies. And tonight, we're going to be reviewing the project by Sematary and Ghost Mountain, 100 Acre Wrist, hosted by DJ Sorrow, crying through the pain. And so, to piggyback off of my last review that I did, Sematary and Ghost Mountain's mixtape, Grave House. And little sad update, I realize it's not on Spotify anymore. They took it off Spotify. Shouts out to Trash Reap, someone who commented on that particular video saying RIP to this mixtape, which was the way it informed me that, like, wait, did this mixtape disappear? Did Sematary get rid of it or something? Like, I had no idea, and then I just went on Spotify and realized, like, damn, it's not there anymore. That sucks. I really like that album too. But it's still on YouTube, but, you know, not as convenient, depending on who you are. But either way, you know, you can still listen to that album on YouTube in full, and probably most likely on SoundCloud and some other areas. Or I'm pretty sure you can also figure out a way to download it too. But yes, unfortunately, Grave House really is a grave house now, but oh well. There's still a lot of good material that Sematary has put out that is on Spotify. And honestly, we're in the internet age. We can find multitudes of ways to listen to music, even if it's not on like the mainstream services. But either way, so 100 Acre Wrist, hosted by DJ Sorrow. So this is essentially the second output between specifically Sematary and Ghost Mountain. Yes, they like I said in my last video, they do their own solo work too, but Ghost Mountain isn't making music anymore, and Sematary's mainly curating like this sound and the wave. So, and
hey, me from the future. So yeah, I've recently got some more updates on the whole Ghost Mountain and Sematary situation when it comes in regards of like some of the stuff that Sematary's discography has been deleted, and most likely I think is based off of Sematary doing it, because also Warboy, which is a Sematary project that I heard a little bit of that I really liked a lot, that was removed too. So it seems like there's something going on that I'm not fully aware of, and honestly I really don't want to get involved if there is like some type of beef or Sematary is seeing a different way that he wants to represent his music, and like, hey, it's his music and he can do with it what he wants. And yeah, unfortunately for us, like, yeah, you know, we're low-key kind of probably missing out on conveniently be able to listen to some pretty good Sematary projects. But yeah, so Grave House is off Spotify, Warboy is off Spotify. From what I can tell, it seems like either Sematary wants to continue his career in like a different fashion and get rid of like the stuff that he doesn't feel like suits him anymore. I'm guessing there probably could be a lot of different things going on, but I don't want to speculate. I don't want to muddle anyone's like opinions about it, because I barely know exactly what's going on. So I think from this point on, I'm just gonna, like, when it comes to talking about Sematary or anything that has to do with Sematary, I think I'm gonna, you know, let my videos on like his music like lie for a while until like I know exactly what's going on with like the removal of his music. Because it seems like a decision based off him and based off what other people who are fans of him are speculating. And yeah, all I know is that I don't want to cause any friction if like I'm putting misinformation out there about this specific situation. So yeah, unfortunately there's some good material now on Sematary stuff anymore, but I guess it kind of is what it is, and I'll just let it unfold, and maybe sometime in the future I'll be able to like do an actual video on it if it's appropriate. So that's all I gotta say.
And even a lot of Sematary's solo work and EPs, like the whole Rainbow Bridge series, which I will probably jump into next. Probably not immediately, but in the future, I'm definitely going to like start from from bottom to top for Sematary's music and his EPs and other outputs that he's done single wise, because like I've officially realized I really enjoy the sound that they've created, and I want to continue it. And also, real quick things, thank you for all my subscribers. I know I only got like 65, but you guys have all been very engaging, whether you just came from like you recently discovered me after I did the Sematary and Ghost Mountain review, and also for my other specific videos, like my music videos, and also specifically my current 93 viewers. Thank you for engaging with me and talking about these albums, and just kind of even giving me a lot of more information. And I doubt you guys are probably watching this particular video. I might just stick with like the current, like I definitely want this platform to have like its different sections, and because I love different aspects of music, and I want to like conversate with like the groups of people that it definitely gravitates more to. But hey, still, if you want to intermingle, see the other videos, if there's an album that I've reviewed that seems interesting, that probably is something you're not used to listening to, like, hey, try it out. But yeah, so thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for all the nice comments and just all the nice engagement. I really like how this channel is starting out. Like, I started this about like 5 months ago, and this has been fun. This has been fun. I want to keep continuing it. So, to start off this review, we're going to get into the song Hepalumps. And if you don't know what a hepalump is, it's a Winnie the Pooh reference. It's essentially just an elephant. Actually, this history of it, actually. A hepalump is a type of elephant-like character in the Winnie the Pooh stories by A.A. Milne. Hepalumps are mentioned and only appear in Pooh and Piglet's Dream in Winnie the Pooh, 1926, and seen again in The House at Pooh Corner, 1928. Physically, they resemble elephants. Shepherd's illustration shows an Indian elephant. They are later featured in the animated television series The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, 1988 through 1991, followed by 2 animated films in 2005. Pooh's Heffalump movie and Pooh's Heffalump Halloween movie. So, one thing, just from that start of the fact that like this song starts with a Winnie the Pooh reference, this is, I would say, definitely for the realms of Sematary's music, this is one of his most lighthearted stuff that I've heard so far. Like, it still has that horrorcore aesthetic, but I feel like they're actually drawn more from their actual personal lives and minimalizing, like, and having a more focused, like, poignant, like, aesthetic. And not to say they didn't do that on Grave House, but I do feel like with Grave House, it felt like, you know, just that blazing rock type of, like, you know, fulfilling of your just, you know, riding through the dark clouds and firestorms and shit like that, where this actually feels like it's trying to grab a hold on to some type of innocence that, you know, I can already heard from Grave House, but this definitely hones in on it more, and like the production is much more crisp, along with the vocals too. I'll also have to say, yeah, their melodies are much more on point, and their vocal performances are just way better. Like, this album just feels much more pristine. You know, not to say like Grave House, like, you know, needed to sound like this, because I feel like Grave House, like, kind of lo-fi, kind of gritty aesthetic, you know, works perfect for it. But in far as progression, this is a really good progression. Like, we them heffalumps roaming through the hollows, 100-acre woods round where we stay, bro. And I'ma in your life some so. We them heffalumps, something. Yeah, I forgot the lyrics, but we them heffalumps. We them heffalumps. Like, dude, like, at first I remember I heard the song, like, I kind of wasn't overtly crazy about it, but the more I listened to it, and when I actually reminded myself what a heffalump was, I was like, oh shit, this is a Winnie the Pooh reference. Cool. Yeah, so again, and like still consistent in the fact that like they're, pulling from media, but this is just a different side of them that I've never seen. And still some slight horrorcore witch house type of vibes, but definitely is kind of entering in more realms of like that emo aesthetic, specifically like more drain gainy, lean, like young lean type, like but more focused. And but it's still its own thing. I feel like it's becoming its own particular thing where like, yeah, I can reference other influences or people that sound like them, but for the most part, I feel like this is the project that sounds like they've really solidified their sound, and yeah, I'm really all happy for it. We got the second song called Louisville Slugger. Yeah, so this is a really good, solid song. Honestly, when it comes to like the whole concept of Louisville Sluggers, like that's been referenced in so much hip hop music throughout time that, I feel like this is definitely a very interesting representation of like, I think it's like a gun or some shit like that, or like bat, I don't know. Yeah, probably, yeah, something like that. Overall, this definitely has a slight hyper pop vibe to it, just like in the way that like his voice is so high pitched, kind of like the only artist I can think of that's like in that vein is probably like that underground artist called Too Hollis or something like that. And just any youngster Jack, and the like it has that type of aesthetic to it. It's just like kind of like more just happier and energetic. Yeah, this is and I feel like they definitely are executing their vocals very well on this. Like the way that Sematary and Ghost Mountain are like riding like the beats on this particular project are so consistent, so fluid, and again crisp. Like I'm like, yeah, they really progressed. Like that song, Tourniquet. I'll be honest, like this is like another good solid song, like good melody, the basic melodies you would get from like this type of sound from them. But what I'm really interested in the fact is that I never knew what a fucking tourniquet was. Yeah, the definition of a tourniquet is a device for stopping the flow of blood through a vein or artery, typically by compressing a limb with a cord or tight bandage. It still does kind of lie in the realms of like, just kind of that horror aesthetic, like, talking about stopping the flow of blood because you probably got your arm chopped off by them in the woods or some shit like that. So yeah, that makes sense. Like, again, they still keep their horrorcore aesthetics, but it's much more subtle. Everything is much more subtle when it comes to like the darker aspects that we usually know Sematary and Ghost Mountain for. And so, which I feel like is like a good way to like express themselves in a different way where, they can, venture out and not have to stick with one particular, temperament. It's fun. It's fun to be fun sometimes, even if you're still trying to like murder and chop people up. And now for the fourth song, we got Dear God. This is definitely is more vibey. And honestly, like, I just really like how this comes in with like the hard, distorted 808s, and it has a very nice sample that has like this hard rock riff. Again, this is one of my favorite songs in the sense that like it's exuding that rock aesthetic that I feel like they've been working on like for like since they've been started making music and stuff like that. And this is really, really like getting that. Like I'm like it just feels so powerful. It's like, oh dear God, oh dear God, like just obvious like double entendre, like probably actually talking about an actual dear God, but then also saying dear and then God, like DEAR, kind of in an ironic way of like knowing that most likely Sematary and Ghost Mountain, they probably aren't kind of like anti-religious or some shit like that. So I feel like this kind of like an ironic nod to like religion or something like that, which heard a lot before. And again, this is like typical stuff that you get like from heavy metal music, which I feel like is another aesthetic that they exude a little bit in their music, but not to like the obvious degrees, but in ways where they're using other elements of like hip hop fusions to get that sound. And this is definitely a good example of that. Even, I mean, again, like still like to the ironic way of like the fact that there's still some gospel nods and how like they're singing this and like some of the samples in the background. So yeah, I like that. So taxidermy, again, yeah, just another run-of-the-mill song for me, but I do actually really enjoy this melody. Like, it's like out of all the run-of-the-mill like Sematary-esque type of songs I've heard, this is definitely kind of on the top, because I'm like, you know, I can definitely still sing along to it and just, you know, just kind of enjoy it. I'll be honest, like, this is I actually just enjoy the whole entirety of this album. Like, I definitely have more highlights on the Grave House album, but with this one, I feel like just this whole entire experience as a whole is just been there's just so much improvement from how like I heard them first start out and like where they're at now. It like just within like a short span of time, because I think this is still like 2019, probably coming up 2020-ish. But yeah, so yeah, overall, yeah, this is like, out of all the run-of-the-mill songs, like, this is just fun. Like, this whole album just is feeling fun to me. It still has that like aesthetic, but like the rapping is also way much better on here. Like, just how they're flowing, and I feel like it's just also much more personal too. And there's just a certain, like, they're still creating that aspect of fantasy and, you know, still referencing like media and movies, but kind of honing in and, you know, cutting out the fat of like just the overexcitement that you probably heard on Grave House. Whereas this one is just like the whole vibe is just perfect, just fluid. This is just a very fluid, like, rock, rap, trap, like out in the Appalachian type of trap music, bro. Like, and like as we continue, we got the song Johnny Cutter, which, you know, still alluding to some horrorcore references, but like this is still a fun song. It definitely sounds more like a slightly punk poppy type of vibe, and like the melody, and like when he says Johnny Cutter, Johnny Cutter, that specific part, like kind of something I feel like I hear out the 80s or something like that. Like it's just like Johnny Cutter, like it's just fun. Like, again, like I feel like they just reference so many things like unknowingly. Like, they're just bringing so many aspects from different parts of the past. It's like, this is just like, the more I listen to their music, is like really fun to listen to. You know, yeah, you can still say like it's like edgy to a certain degree, but like, you know, that's kind of what's fun about it. Like, it's just like, it's kind of, I think they're just exuding all the things that they're into, and like, but they're owning it in a way that, you know, you can vibe with it, because I feel the authenticness of like this sound that they're making. And 100 Acre Wrist is definitely like, just even like with all like, you know, the sound bites and like the DJ like shout outs, like DJ Sorrow. I'm like, dude, like these guys know how to make some cool stuff. And then you got Goodbye Horsey. Yeah, very lighthearted song. It's you know, it sounds like the introduction to like the intro. There's 2 more songs after this. Like, I feel like this could have been an intro, but I do feel like the last song definitely is still a good ending intro. But like, yeah, it's more like goodbye horses, goodbye horses, and it's just like, again, another example of like the lightheartedness and like the sweetness that, like, you know, these guys probably actually just really have inside. Like, they're probably just like really just regular, you know, young dudes just trying to like create something new and just express themselves, you know, through the dimness of like whatever they like can perceive through like their lives out in the boonies. And yeah, then we got the song Nazigol. Yeah, another run-of-the-mill song for me, but I do like the fact that, like, again, yeah, each song, like, even the run-of-the-mill songs for me that, like, you know, don't overtly interest me, still, like they're spitting, like, they are literally flowing properly, and like, and it's not like, again, like I said in the last review, they are actually like rapping some like concrete lyrics where like I can see images in my head of what like they're describing, and I'm like, I have to actually read these lyrics and like figure out if I can sing along with them. So it's like, you know, again, like I wouldn't even say run in the mill. It's just more just like, you know, a good, actually more, probably more solid song. But overall, it's just like this whole entire album just feels so solid. And then we end this album off with Cleaver Valley, which in reality is not. It doesn't even have an 808 in it. It doesn't even have a beat. This is actually essentially a indie electronic, indie pop, folk type of song with like slight sprinkles of horror vibes. Like, honestly, I've never heard anything like this before. This is essentially just like folk music with like weird hyper like indie electronic pop aesthetic. I like, but like it's still, but it's not too much. It's like low key. It's like very minimal and just basic in the fact that like it's just using like the automated like guitar acoustics and whatever software they're using. And I just really like it. It's just good. Like, I can't believe the fact that like we've gotten to a point where we can like hear music like this. It's like, it's fun, it's refreshing, and I just enjoy it a lot. Like, again, like with this album and along with like just all the like stuff that I've listened to them so far, like this has just been a great experience, and I'm glad that like I've allowed myself to open my ears to it and, you know, enjoy it, and like hopefully be able to enjoy it with you guys. Like, yeah, 100 Acre Wrist. This is like, I really like this, and unfortunately this is like the last like project that Ghost Mountain has like did with Sematary. And I mean, who really knows? Maybe Ghost Mountain may come back, but we don't know. We don't know. Like, you know, people have their own lives, like they gotta do their own thing, and so like all I can say is that like where Sematary is at right now, I'm gonna definitely review Rainbow Bridge 3 at some point, but like I said, I'm going to start from the beginning all the way to the top, and you know, from that point on, you can get into the EPs. Like, I know they have one. I know Sematary has an EP that I think it's called Warboy. I definitely have to say I heard a few songs off of that EP, but just from that alone, like I feel like that's some of Sematary's best production. And shouts out to Deadly Based. He actually kind of pointed this out in the comment section on the last video. Warboy is by far Sematary's best project production wise, in my opinion. And yeah, I totally agree. Like, right when I saw that message, like I was like, yeah, I like, from what, like I only listened to like 1 or 2 songs like real quick just to like when I was like first getting into them. I was like, yeah, this specific EP is definitely exuding something a little bit different that I'm liking a lot more than the other stuff. Not to say it's that like it's still an EP, but like, yeah, Warboy definitely seems like one of like the biggest like turning points for Sematary's production wise and just aesthetic wise. But just the overall aesthetic that they're making, this is fun. Like, I want to hear more from it. I want to hear other people like, you know, expand off of this type of sound and like create their own type of, you know, sound based within this, and just like see like where this can progress. And like this is fun music. I really like this music. I love how it's catchy, consistent, simple, but at the same time complex in the way that like it's, you know, just fusing all these different forms of hip hop together. I really enjoyed this project. Sematary, Ghost Mountain, 100 Acre Wrist. I like you. You're awesome. And with that said, I'm Trey Bell, and I am out.
There's the odor of essence, and I double and